Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make two awesome, easy Halloween decor pieces. Alrighty, so what do I have here? I have 4 of these wooden crates from Dollar Tree. As you can see, now they have several different kinds, okay? But as you can see, this one does not have the hole in the side and the slats. I mean, they're open, but you know, you can barely see in between them. So this is the kind that I'm going to use. So now we're going to need some wood glue. I have a bottle of wood glue. I forgot I had a bottle of wood glue. I went to the store to get some glue. I bought a bottle of wood glue. I couldn't find it. Got lost in the car. I went to the store. I got a bottle of wood glue. Came back home, found my other bottles of wood glue. So now I've got all this wood glue, okay? This is my life. This is where we are. Send help. I need an intervention. Why did my camera cut off? We may never know. All right. So we're going to glue these together. I mean, this is a lightweight Dollar Tree item. I mean, you know, we're not trying to hold up an entire house with this. So you could use hot glue, but me and my house, we're going to use up some of this wood glue. And I have these little crafting clamps. These came from Dollar Tree. You get a whole handful of them in a pack. So we're going to use these. They're like quilting clamps, okay? Quilting clips. But anyway, now let's glue these other 2 together. And then we're going to glue... Hello. Look. Why you want to give me such a hard time, friend? Okay, let's say we're going to glue these. Okay, clamp them together. Okay, like that. And then we're going to glue those on top of these, okay? Now, yes, these are from Dollar Tree. They aren't going to be, like, perfectly lined up, but it's okay. Now, take this and glue on top of there. I'm going to lay it down so that y'all can see it. And then clamp those down. And we're going to let this sit here. I'm going to give it a good hour. And we'll come back and see what we can do with it. Alright. So the glue has set up. Paint has dried. Everything is ready. Okay. So now what are we going to put in here? Well, on the top, we're going to glue on this sign from Dollar Tree. Pick your poison. Sort of like a little shelf sitter type deal. It says pick your poison. So we're going to put in these glass potion bottles. Poisons, potions, and all that good stuff. These are from Dollar Tree as well. They have several different sizes. They have the tall ones. There are medium-sized ones. And then there are little small ones. Okay. Now, the tall ones, you might have to take the cork and push them down in there just a little bit further because they will barely fit in here. Okay. Why is my stylus here? We don't know. There we go. But like I said, just push the cork down in there. If the cork won't go down in there, be careful so you don't break the top of it. You may just have to take a razor blade or something and just shear off a little bit. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is gluing these inside our little box here. And for that, my charging cable on my phone, because I use my phone to record, my cable is falling down. So now we're just going to take these and hot glue them in here. I'm going to kind of bring them up to the front like that, okay? And then we're just going to glue them down. All right, so my bottles are glued in there. So now what we're going to put in there, just all kinds of stuff, whatever you want to put in there. Now, I have this plastic skull. Now, this came from Dollar Tree. It was part of another craft. As you can see, there's some moss stuck to it. But I want to maybe like just try to glue it down in the back of this one. And y'all know I love crystals. I collect crystals. I have so many of them. So I'm going to see if I can find some crystals and just glue in here, you know, just to give it a little something, something, you know. So let me glue all of that stuff down and we'll come back and take a look. All right, y'all. So before we go on any further, first, I'm going to shamelessly plug this book that I have read. I've actually read it twice already. I absolutely love it. This is such a very awesome friend of mine. And if you want to support an indie author, please look down in the description box and in a pinned comment. I'm going to have a link for you. And guess what? It's not smut. There is so much smut all over the place. Now, no, this is an actual book, okay? This is like actual good writing. So if you like sci-fi, you know, stuff like that. Actually, my beloved snake, Kaylin, has the same name as a character in this book, so I thought that was pretty awesome. Description box, pinned comment. Check the links, please. Anyway, moving on. This is what I have. Okay, so we have our bottles, okay? Now, these little pumpkins here, these came from Dollar Tree. They, where did they go? Right here, right here, right here. You get 6 of them on this little card, okay? So I just glued some little pumpkins down in there. This is a plastic eye, also from Dollar Tree. You know, you get them in a package of several. These mushrooms, okay, these are crystal mushrooms, okay? Where do I get those? Honey, I can't even remember where I got them, okay? Y'all know I live up in the mountains. We have all of these gem mines around here. So a lot of times I get them from gem mines. You can look on Etsy, eBay. You can look on Amazon if you want to use crystals and whatnot, you know, to make it look more witchy. And then the little plastic skull, of course. So now what are we going to do? I want to fill it in just a little bit with some of this. It makes it like an old moss, you know, like old dead moss had grown all over it. You know, like it's like an apothecary like out in the woods, right? I had a glue stick. Oh, there it is. Amber, my lord. I'm also going to be using the tweezers that I have used in the other craft. And it's very helpful when it comes to stuff like this, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of hot glue right here. And then we're going to use our tweezers to pick this up. Like I said, for the tweezers, look down in the description box and in the pinned comment, and I'll have links for you for this as well, okay? Yeah, I use it to feed my snake, but very, very helpful in the craft room, okay? Okay, so this is what this part looks like with the moss in there. And yeah, it's messy, but I'm going to go back with some scissors, and we're going to trim off this excess, you know, press it down in there. We're going to make it look a lot better, okay? So I'm just going to glue some more down here, here, and here. Okay, I'm happy with this. I know somebody's going to say, I don't like the moss. They don't put it in there, Linda. I put it on there because I like it. So now what's left is to glue this sign onto the top, okay? And that's going to be difficult to do here on camera, so I'm going to do that off camera. But anyway, that is that. What in the world does she have now? Listen, I got a candle holder and some hair gel. What in the world am I going to do with a candle holder and some hair gel? Well, I'm going to show you. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to take this candle holder that I got from Dollar Tree, and we're going to take some of this painter's tape. Now, you can get painter's tape at Dollar Tree, Walmart, home improvement stores, wherever. And we're going to take this painter's tape, and I'm going to block off this gold part, okay? So probably going to have to just tear this into thinner strips, which I just did a really bad job of tearing it. But anyway, this is the wide kind. You can get the kind that's much more narrow, but this is just what I have. Okay, so we're going to very carefully cover up this skeleton all the way around, because I want to spray paint this. I thought I had some black acrylic paint, and I don't. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have to very, very carefully cover this, okay? And then we're going to spray paint it black, all right? So let me work on that. Alrighty, so I'm just getting this next layer of tape put on. So like I said, you know, if you're using acrylic paint and a paintbrush, you don't have to worry about this. Because I'm using the spray paint, I have to worry about it. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to paint this, all right? And I'm going to use the satin finish Canyon Black. The 2-time Ultra Color has paint and primer together. This is from Rust-Oleum. I got it at Lowe's. You can get it at, I think Walmart carries it. Yeah, home improvement stores. But anyway, this raggedy thing was actually sitting outside waiting for me to do something with it with my flower pots. But I'm going to use it for this craft. Now listen, you can use one of the flat candle plates from Dollar Tree, okay? But my store has kind of been out of those lately, so I'm going to have to use something else. And I like this because it has, you know, a lip on it. But this is a 6-inch clay saucer, okay? 6-inch. What we're going to be using this for, so that you'll know what size to get and why we're getting it this size. This is just what I had laying around. But this fish bowl, and you can see there are big fish bowls and the smaller ones at Dollar Tree. This is a smaller one. This is going to sit on top when we're done with this, okay? This is going to sit on top. So I'm going to take this outside and also paint it black. All right, so while that's out there drying, we're going to go ahead and set this up. Now, why am I doing it now instead of waiting until I glue it onto the candle holder? Because then that's going to make it very tall, and it's going to make it really hard for y'all to see on camera, okay? So what we're going to do is, I have this 6-piece fairy garden. This came from a Dollar Tree, so you get all these little doohickeys in there. And I think the one that I want to use is going to be this one. It's a tree, and it has a skull on it and a little black cat and some bones. Oh, there are my nails, my ghost face nails. Yeah, so I think that's the one that we're going to use. So I'm waiting for my hot glue gun to heat up here. But what we're going to do next, these rings. These rings from Dollar Tree, you can see they have little skulls, they have spiders, and they also have some bats. The bats are what we're going for, okay? Because I wanted to find a bag of something that has some tiny bats in it, and I'm not having any luck. The stores around me are not having very good Halloween selections this year, you know? So anyway, we're going to take some of these rings and we're actually going to cut the ring part off as best we can and save the little bats. So I got some smaller scissors here. And like I said, just very carefully take your scissors and just cut the ring part off. And so now we're left with these little bats. All right. So I'm going to do that with a handful of these. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I've got 5. No, 6. I've got 6. Well, that's an even number, and I don't like even numbers, so let's do an odd one. So this will be number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm just making sure I can count. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. All right, so I touched the inside of that glass, so let's wipe it off. All right, I think my hot glue gun has set. Now, listen, I wanted to use the taller one, okay? I wanted to use this little ghosty, but it's going to be too tall for what we're doing. So I really liked that one, but you know what? Like I said, this one has a skull on it, so I think it's going to do just fine. So we're going to use some hot glue here, and we're just going to glue this right down into the center of our fish bowl here. And then we're going to let that set up, okay? Which won't take but just a second. But now, this is where our styling gel comes in, all right? Now, listen, I've seen people, you know, using a hand soap and then they put things down inside the hand soap. This is just a bigger bottle. There's 16 ounces, okay? So this is why I'm going to use the hair gel. And I'm going to try to be so careful with this and just glop it down in there. Try to be careful because we don't want a whole lot of bubbles in this, right? We don't want a whole lot of bubbles. So we're just going to, ew, make god-awful noises is what we're going to do. So let's put this all down in there. Will it be enough to fill this up? I don't know. If it's not, then I've got another bottle of it over here. I'm trying so careful to not get bubbles in it. But we're just going to put as much in here as possible. All right, now that we have all of that in there and settled, we're going to put the little bats in. Now, I'm going to be using these tweezers that I use to feed my snake. They also come in handy when you're crafting. So I have several pair, okay? I have some in where my snake is. I have some here in the craft room. If you want a pair of these, I'm going to link down in the description box for you and check the pinned comments. I'll have a link to where you can grab some of these on Amazon, okay? Let's see. Yeah, this is a little bit cloudy. It's a little cloudier than what I would like. But, you know, you can use the hand soap. You can use clear shampoo, whatever you got. That's sort of like, you know, gelatinous, I guess you could say. That's going to hold the little bats up, okay? So we're just going to take this, and I'm just going to stick the bats down in there like that. And let them go. Let it go, let it go. Okay, just stick that down in there. As you can see, well, you probably can't see on camera. Hold on, I'll move the thing here in a second. Now they just stay suspended in whatever gel it is that you decide that you want to use. Like I said, a hair gel, you can use hand soap, you know, anything like that. Looks like they're in suspended animation. Let's see. All right, let's stick some down in here. Okay. You just let that sit, and hopefully some of these bubbles are going to dissipate. And I'm still waiting on the paint to dry on everything else. So I got to wait a little bit, but I'll be back. All right, friends. So I was originally going to use this light. This is a very, very harsh light, okay? I was going to glue it on the underside of the lid that we're going to put on it, and then you just remove it and turn it on. But you know what? It's so bright, and I've tried. It does not look good, okay? In my opinion, it's too harsh. So what I did is I've got these fairy lights, and I just kind of put them into a circle, and I took the end and twisted it around to hold it all together so that it will fit around the edge just like this, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of this hot glue. Work quickly, Amber. To glue the lights in like this. And I'm going to say it again, you know, because I want to make sure that people hear this. Whatever substance that you put in here, please make sure that it's clear. You can use shower gel. I just went in the bathroom and checked, and actually I do have some shower gel that's clear. You can use shower gel, bath gel, you know, what have you. Just make sure that it's nice and clear, okay? Now we're going to glue that down. Let's let that sit there. And you see the wire here is hanging off the back. So you're going to have to just, you know, find a way to hide your battery pack. Okay. Just put it behind something. It'll be all right. So now let's set that back there. Now I'm going to go out and let's check and see if our lid is dry. And then we will continue. All right. So I'm trying to very carefully move this because I don't want to jostle it around and make bubbles, you know? So listen, friends, what we're going to do is I'm going to use hot glue to glue this down on here. Why? Because if I use E6000, that's going to be pretty permanent hold, right? Now, I don't know what product you're going to use in here, okay? Whether it's shower gel, it could be shampoo, you know, whatever, I don't know. The viscosity is going to be different between products. So eventually your bats may float up to the top. They may sink. I don't know. It depends on what you use. So we're just going to stick it down with the hot glue in case you need to take it apart and rearrange some things, okay? Please be so careful to not get this actually inside there, okay? Because you don't want that coming into contact if you can help it. Which I'm probably going to make a mess, as I am known to do. Okay, let's see. Now we're just going to set that down. Like I said, I know this part is going to be hard to see on camera. But at least you will get to see the finished product here shortly. So let's get that out of the way very carefully. Now we're going to glue this on top of here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a whole lot of hot glue. And I'm also going to use some E6000. All right. You can use just a little bit E6000, all right? Because then, like, if your lights mess up or something, you're going to have to take it apart, you know, and replace your lights. So I'm going to use just the tiniest little bit of E6000. I think just kind of like right here in the center. Uh-oh. Just enough to hold it down and protect it. Just a tiny little bit from cats, dogs, and feral children. Now we're going to use the hot glue. Try not to mix the hot glue with the E6000. It will weaken the bond over time. Okay. There we go. And now we want to make sure that whatever object you put inside is going to be facing the same way as the skull. Okay, so I might have to move this out of the way because I think I'm going to hit my camera with it. But there we go. Okay, we're just going to let this sit until the glue sets up, all right? There it is. If you would, please give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media. The links to all of which will be in the description box down below. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.